Next, I call upon Dr. Anne J.K. to speak on the pale optic disc. Dr. Anne is a senior consultant in the Department of Neuro-Ophthalmology and Oculoplasty in Little Flower Hospital, Angamali, Kerala. Over to you, Anne.
I would like to thank Dr. Kalaimati and IOS for including me in this IC. My topic is pale disc. Optic atrophy is not a disease. It is a non-specific morphologic endpoint of any disease that causes damage to the ganglion cells or axons of the optic nerve. Site of insult, it can be either within the eye, that is ganglion cells, retinal nerve fiber layer, or the optic disc, or any parts of the optic nerve or intracranial such as chiasm, optic tract, or lateral geniculate body. Before going into abnormal disc, we should know about normal disc. Normal disc is composed of axons of ganglion cells, blood capillaries, astrocytes, and connective tissue. When the light passes through these ganglion cells, it is reflected by the blood capillaries, which gives the optic disc a pink color. Normally, 10 to 12 blood vessels are seen on the surface of the disc. Optic atrophy can be classified ophthalmoscopically as primary, secondary, consecutive, and cavernous. In primary optic atrophy, this is not preceded by disc edema. There is degeneration of the ganglion cells, which is accompanied by proliferation of the glial tissue in a structurally orderly manner, so there is no structural alteration. Disc appears flat, pale, with clearly demarcated margins with normal retinal vessels, usually seen in compressive lesions. In secondary optic atrophy, it is preceded by disc edema, and after degeneration of the ganglion cells, there is excessive proliferation of the ganglion tissue, and there will be an alteration in the structure, which gives a dirty white-gray appearance to the disc with poorly delineated margins. Consecutive optic atrophy is following the disease of retinal vasculature, ganglion cells, and choroid. Classical description is waxy pallor of the disc with normal margins and normal cup size. Attenuation of arteries are seen in conditions of retinitis pigmentosa, choroiditis, pan-retinal photocoagulations, etc. In cavernous optic atrophy, there is axonal degeneration, but there is no proliferation of the glial tissue, which gives a large cup. There will be notching of the neuroretinal rim, nerve fiber layer defect, and vascular changes seen in glaucoma and methyl alcohol poisoning. Apart from total disc pallor, there are conditions which affect a part of the disc. Most commonly seen is temporal pallor, which affects the papillomacular bundle. This condition is seen in toxic or nutritional optic neuropathies, which commonly affects metabolically active papillomacular fibers. Superior and inferior disc pallor is seen in ischemic etiology, which is explained by the blood supply to the optic nerve. Bow tie atrophy is seen when the nasal crossing fibers are affected. So the fibers coming to the nasal and temporal margins of the disc is affected, which gives a pallor in the shape of a bow tie. It is seen in chiasmal lesions. There is an etiological classification also, hereditary, vascular, toxic, and so on. So I'll give you some examples. A 62-year-old male came with sudden onset of vision of right eye of 1 week duration. Best corrected vision was both eye 6/6, and he had right eye RAPD. He was a diabetic and hypertensive. This was the fundus picture. We can see a segmental pallor of the disc, and on visual field there was a corresponding inferior field defect, and this was a case of ischemic optic neuropathy. Another patient, a 24-year-old male with defective vision in right eye for the 3 months history after a history of head injury. Vision in right eye was 636, left eye 6/6. Right eye RAPD was there, and fundus showed optic atrophy in his right eye and reduced field, and VEP showed ill-defined waveforms, and this is a case of traumatic optic neuropathy. Another case, a 50-year-old male with defective vision both eyes, Few months he was complaining of defective vision. Best corrected vision was 612. Pupils were normal. Fundus was also looking apparently normal. And visual field showed there is a centrocecal scotoma in his right eye and a slightly enlarged blind spot in his left eye. And OCT confirmed thinning of the retinal nerve fiber layers. History taking revealed that he was a chronic smoker and alcoholic, and this is a case of toxic optic neuropathy. Another girl, 22-year-old female, defective vision in right eye more than left eye for many years, 3 to 4 years. Vision in right eye was profound loss of vision, hand movements only. In left eye, 636 with right eye RAPD. Primary optic atrophy in both eyes. And we could do only vision in left eye because right eye vision was so poor. And we could see a vertical field defect. And on imaging, we could see a pituitary tumor. So this is a case of compressive optic neuropathy. Another patient with defective vision in right eye with limitation of extraocular movements. Right eye vision was hand movements and left eye was 6-6 with RAPD in right eye. So the fundus was pale disc, and we did an imaging also because he had movement restriction, and we could see a mass in the optic nerve at the orbital apex encompassing the optic nerve and surrounding structures. On slit lamp examination showed Lisch nodules, and he also had cutaneous lesions. So this is a case of neurofibromatosis, optic nerve glioma. This is pale disc after pan-retinal photocoagulation, a case of consecutive optic neuropathy. And another pale disc. The surrounding retina shows the features of retinitis pigmentosa. So it is important to see the whole retina in case of pale disc. So though it may look bit confusing, but with proper history taking and clinical examination, we can get a clue about the diagnosis. Like in time of onset, if it is an acute, more likely inflammatory or traumatic causes. But if it is slow over months, it can be compressive, toxic or nutritional. And in elderly age groups, ischemic optic neuropathies are seen. And always look for other cranial nerves or systemic neurological involvement. And also take a history so that you can know about any ocular and systemic diseases coexisting. And some optic neuropathies run in family, so family history is also important. Also exposure to drugs, toxins and all. So do a complete optic nerve function test, because sometimes even if the patient has 6-6 vision, visual field or color vision may get affected, so that otherwise you may miss the diagnosis. FFA, OCT and VEP, we are not using this routinely, but in some cases this may help in the diagnosis. So apart from the routine blood investigations, if you are suspecting a tumor, demyelination or fracture, we do imaging and tests. If you suspect a specific disease, the test has to be tailored according to that, as in sarcoidosis, serum ACE levels, calcium levels, chest X-ray, sputum smear, AFB in tuberculosis, lymph node FNAC or biopsy. Or in toxic optic neuropathies, heavy metal screening. If you suspect a ischemic optic neuropathy, to rule out giant cell arteritis and all, you have to do temporal artery biopsy. And if you suspect an atypical optic neuritis, MRI spine and anti-NMO antibodies. And also always keep in mind the differential diagnosis. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ann, for elaborating the cause for optic atrophy.